All right.
And we're live. Jimmy McKay is on the road, so he is not with us, but he did get us started. Dave Kittle, how's the morning going, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Feeling great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I've got a couple topics. I want you and I to brainstorm on some of this stuff. Uh, I want to keep talking about something we started talking about Tuesday, which is this idea of finding and identifying other local business owners. This is what I'm thinking, and I'm pulling concepts that we've discussed before. But okay, so we find a local small business owner, not a big national brand, local small business. We look to see if they're running Facebook ads, Google ads already, because you can see that stuff publicly. Once we identify that, we can pretty well assume they're probably doing 1,000 to 3,000 a month, depending on the size of their business. That means that they have budget, they've allocated budget for this. And then we reach out to them. And this is where I want to kind of brainstorm with you. How do we reach out to them? What do we tell them? What's the hook that's going to get them on? But basically, we reach out and we say, hey, we're another local business. We're building a media channel to promote our business. What we would like to do is we looked at your content, we looked at your ads. If you were able to or willing to divert a portion of that money, we will book, let's say $1,000. We'll do 3 sessions. I'm sure you or somebody in your organization has orthopedic pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, hip pain, back pain, whatever. We'll do 3 treatments. We'll capture those treatments on video. During those treatments, we'll talk about your local business, and then we will share that content. We will tag your business, so you will get traffic indirectly through us. We can decide if we give them the video content so that they can also share it, or if we kind of keep that content and just tag them and let them share our content. Um, but I think that there's something real here. And I said, especially for mobile therapists, like brick and mortar, like I am, yeah, the guy down the street can come here. I can work on him. I just did an evaluation before we got on. This individual patient works for a local business. We talked about the business. We talked about, what's going on in the business. What are you doing? I didn't have the video running, so I couldn't capture that. But it is absolutely doable. Kind of, what are your thoughts on the whole concept?
Well, I mean, we're already partly doing this through the golden ticket idea, where
Yeah.
we were treating current, previous clients, friends, neighbors, where we got a couple things. It was completely complimentary treatment, which there's pros and cons of that. And you're talking about a paid offer, which I love, and also identifying people who are already spending on Facebook ads or Google ads. It's very easy to go on Google and search barbershop Brooklyn, New York, or haircut, or whatever, physical therapy, HVAC, whatever it is. It's so easy to find who's already spending money on ads. Like they already have a budget and they're already looking for more new customers. So I love that idea to find people who are actually paying you so that you all that are watching or listening can actually make some money while doing this. But our offer was the complimentary treatment session. They sign a consent form where we get to keep the digital assets. We get to video record different angles and all of that, basically the whole session. And we keep the video assets. And then also, we've done this for what, 3 people. We've done this for 3 patients, clients, whatever, so far. And 2 of them have already written Google reviews for us, 5-star Google reviews. And one of them just yesterday is referring their mother-in-law and asking us about insurance. So we'll check and see if they have out of network insurance. And I actually have a therapist that lives near, like in that neighborhood where the mother-in-law is in Queens. And so um, without immediate like it's not money into the bank account yet, but it's like those are just planted seeds, right? Like the Google reviews that turns into money. People see people see the reviews. The one guy who wrote a review said, like, any type of keyword you want me to mention in the review, and I was like, yes. Scar, ankle pain, walking, post surgery, and he put them all in the Google review. So it's just like he's a mensch. He's obviously he gets it. Um, But in terms of making it an actual offer, like this is something I think Jeremy Sutton will, probably implement like this week. Uh, and it makes a ton of sense. Let's get more into it though.
So I think I already said. So if you're mobile, you go on site, you go to the business, you go to the barber. I could even see this going both ways as a mobile provider. You go to the barber, you treat the barber in the barber shop, right? And you're capturing that content. But then I would also get content of the barber cutting my hair and still continuing to talk about these related topics. Maybe we're talking about my business while I'm in the barber's chair. I'm talking about his business while I'm working on him before or after. Like this can go both ways. I was thinking about the verbiage. I was playing around with ChatGPT. I'm like, what's the hook? How do I do the cold outreach if I don't have time to connect? If you're starting a business, you have to have time to connect. Like there's no doubt about it. You go there, you patronize, or you're a patron of the business, you spend money with the business, then you start to talk to the people in the business. You will find somebody who needs your services, period. There's zero doubt. But if you're a little bigger, you're a little more established, maybe you don't have the time to cold, call and be a customer of these places. I think you could do it. You could do it with mail, email. You could do it with telephone. You could do it with snail mail. But what would be an attractive, like cold inbound for you? I share emails with you guys, you and Jimmy, that come to me. Most of them are complete junk. I hope this email finds you well. No, I can.
Yes, we don't like that. We don't like that.
But like, what would be something just off the top of your head that if somebody else wanted to connect with you on a business to business level, what's the first sentence that would kind of catch your attention?
Well, I mean, the first sentence would be like, what do I care about, right? So if they like, we're running Google ads, like you said. So I mean, we get these marketing agency emails all the time though, where it's like, hey, we can get you 30 new patients in the next 30 days or whatever. And it's like most of the time it's, spam and it's BS, or they're just sending it to thousands of business owners. And it says like, hi, insert first name, comma, start of sentence. And it's like, it's not even like manually curated to actually me, the business owner. If it was someone that is nearby, I think the biggest thing overall, before thinking about even the first sentence, the biggest thing that would get me to be surprised, get my attention, is if it's all like I get all the benefit. So I think when you're really asking about this, Tony, I think that would go back to my golden ticket idea, the complimentary offer. So when we sent this to people, when we pitched this to friends, neighbors, colleagues, all that, all they had to do was either schedule a time for us, my therapist and I, because I'll do the recording for right now. Either we'll go to your apartment, or the two folks that we already knew, we were like, you could come over to my apartment. We'll film it here. We'll film it in our house. And they had to come over here. That's all the work they had to do. They had to walk a few blocks or whatever, or a few neighborhoods over to come here, and they get complimentary treatment. They get to, get their issue checked out, assessed, treated, whatever, without having to pull out a credit card at all. Like we had them sign the treatment consent form, or, the social media consent form. Other than that, they didn't have to do any work. So the more you ask of someone,
Yeah.
the more resistance you're going to get, the more no's you're going to get. So whether it's the first line or the subject, the subject line of the email, or just the overall theme, if you're reaching out to business owners, if you want the most responses, and I think Jeremy Sutton has, tested different things like this, whether it's paid offers, he's done, he was telling me he did like a complimentary shockwave treatment, I think for some front desk folks or nurses of a practice. And you have to kind of give stuff away like that in order to get, more volume, to get more people to experience your treatment and all that. I really was against this for like the longest time, until like this year. I was like, so, I don't know. I don't know if it's ego or stuck up. I don't know what it was, but like I was so far against giving this away. But then I was like, I think you helped me with video. Let's get this captured. Let's share it. let's see what might happen later in terms of serendipity and more patients and more views and more leads and all that later. So it's kind of like you take a little bit of a loss in the front end, and then you get more upside later. So reaching out to business owners, like what would you write or what would you say? Or if someone's writing to you, because I think, I don't know if it's the first line, the subject line or what, or just the overall theme of a cold email, but it has to be like an actually typed manual email where it says like, hi Dave, hey Dave, David, whatever. Um, and it's like something I really care about. So it's like, hey, are you looking to, I don't know, let's say a gym owner reaches out to me. Are you open to, oh, here's an example. The provider dinner, right? We did that provider dinner that I got invited to.
Yeah.
That was 100%, like I got to eat for free at a really great restaurant, free appetizer, free entree, free dessert. All I had to do was say yes, actually show up and go into Manhattan, and I had to go there, but I got a free meal. I got to meet physicians for free. I got to meet other physical therapy practice owners for free, collaborate with them, connect with them, get their business cards, all that. Try to get in the good graces of some of these other potential out of network physicians. They're also out of network, so that fits me as well. So I got so much for free. So can you see why I went into action? I actually went to the dinner. I like nowadays I'm getting up at 6 a.m. with the baby, and this dinner was 6 to 9 p.m. So usually I'm not going to be going there, but it was enough of the goodwill stuff and the stuff where I thought I could get value from it. It was more about me. And so then I showed up, but then the more people like me that show up, the better it is for their event, right? The more providers they have, and they can take social media pictures and all that. So it has to be what's really in it for the recipient of the email if you're cold emailing one of these local business owners.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking while you were talking, if it's a business that I'm already a customer of, or I'm gonna be a customer anyway, I think probably the best way to do it is be the customer, generate the review.
Yes, spend money with them. Yes.
Be the customer, generate the review, a genuine positive review. Then what I would do, I'd grab the phone, I'd hit record. I'd say, hey, John, I was just down at the sandwich shop. I left a great Google review. You guys are doing amazing. I would love to connect with you, but I just wanted to let you know I appreciate what you're doing for the community. And here's a copy of my Google review. That's it. I would send that. I would see if I got a response. If I get the response, then phase 2 would be the follow-up. Now it would be, hey, thanks so much for responding. I also wanted to let you know I do this thing with the community, with small businesses. What we're doing is anybody who has some orthopedic issues, we have a package. And you got to, Jimmy always says, you need to name it. Feel better, whatever. It's $1,000 package. It includes 3 physical therapy treatments for any orthopedic condition. But during that treatment, we also record content, share that content on social media so that it drives traffic to your business. It gives me a chance to highlight other local business owners because I think local business is so important for the community, and then the first hook was just saying, hey, I left a Google review. Go check it out. Then the follow-up is, hey, we've got this $1,000 offer for, combination of you get the care, which is worth $1,000, and you get the free content and the exposure. I think for me, that's probably the easiest. And that's what I would do even if I had 0 audience. A brand new, no followers, no views, like just started a Facebook business page, or I've had one for a decade and it's got no traction. It doesn't matter because you left the review, you established that reciprocity, and now you're saying, hey, I'm also going to create this content if you want to come down and be a patient. That might work. It's one of those things I'd love to see somebody try. Mike Chua, we always mention Jeremy Sutton, Mike Chua, like these are the guys. There's a couple of people I have in mind too that I'm going to pitch it to and see if they'll give it a try. They have small followings, very little audience, but you're not trying to necessarily get new patients out of it from people who watch the videos. you're getting this business owner as the patient. And once you get a couple of them, now you have examples. Did you see the AI generated example I shared?
Uh,
If you
I did. I saw a few seconds and then I think it cut out or whatever. I didn't even
okay,
listen to the audio. I saw the interaction and
yeah,
the guy had like
yeah,
stuff on his face. Was it like oil or dirt or something?
yeah. I said,
That video?
yeah, I was a mechanic. I
Okay.
said, like, smears on his face and dirty hands, there behind him, working on his shoulder. And I said, the physical therapist says to the patient, tell me about your business. And the patient says, I think it was like, we do oil changes and tire rotations. We're over on Main and Second Street. It was just to kind of experiment and figure this out. Let's use that as a segue. How are we going to use these AI videos? Like, I've been generating a ton of them. I only share a small fraction of what I generate. There are some really amazing ones. There's some pretty terrible ones. But I was talking to Jimmy before we hit go. Has never existed in the history of humankind. How do we use this in your head for what we could do with something like this?
Besides what you're already doing, I don't know. I mean, I feel like my patients and clients would prefer and want actual videos, which is why we were doing the golden ticket
Yep.
complimentary treatment videos. And you actually see how our therapist is treating someone, what he's saying, how the client's responding. Uh, I'm not sure if I want AI to replace that. Although it's way easier for me to say, make an AI version of one of my staff physical therapists, make an AI version of some other, busy professional in New York City that lives here that's, I don't know, whatever descriptions you want to put in there. Um, and if my small amount of followers compared to yours, small amount of followers on social media see AI generated videos, I I don't know if that will help or resonate or detract or look like we're not legit or what. I mean, I have many thoughts and hesitations. I think when you were doing like the Yeti videos, that's like obviously AI, and it's kind of like haha, and the AI is talking about like, oh, I was chasing after a deer in the woods, and now the bear, I hurt my leg chasing after some prey or whatever. Like that's haha funny, and it ties it to physical therapy and your leg hurting or whatever. But when it's an AI video of humans, and if my savvy intellectual, high performer ideal client sees these AI videos that we're putting out, I am actually afraid that they're going to look at some of these AI videos and know or sense or think that some of these might be fakes or AI generated, and I think it could actually hurt us. I think it could actually detract. Am I overthinking that? First of all,
No, no, you're totally right. I totally agree. The life, like, now Scott's here again today, and he said, Tony, your AI videos are crazy, very realistic. Yeah, there are times that it captures reality really well, but I agree with you 100%. Like, I would still not use real people. But so what I'm trying to do in my mind is I'm trying to say, okay, so where is the functional use? How can I gain benefit from this? I think to TV commercials. I think to, do you remember the caveman commercials? I don't remember what the company was, which probably is telling about how effective the commercial was. But the caveman series was hilarious. It might have been like Geico or something,
was
but
it Geico?
that's what I was thinking. It might have been Geico. They were an awesome series. I think we could do something like that. So then I say, okay, so where does this go? Like, what do we do with something like that? From compliance and FCC and other regulatory things, I'm like, well, what if we had a clearly AI generated caveman or Yeti or, a frog or the lizard, either
The
in
Geico
situation.
Gecko now.
Yeah, Gecko Gecko. Gary V talks about, like, if you
Yes.
don't be on camera, then create a character this is the first time that we can create a character. We create that character. I wonder if we could have it where it reads real life Google reviews, because
Ooh,
we can't have
ooh, there we
a
go.
fake person reading Google reviews, and they can't be fake Google reviews. But couldn't we have like a cute little character, animated character reading Google reviews?
I love it.
Yesterday I was working. I don't know if you remember this. There's two memes that are out there that are super popular. One is a gingerbread man. His leg is broken. The doctor says, "Are you icing it, or add more icing, or keep icing?" Something like that. And then there is a balloon animal. It's a dog, a balloon animal. One of his legs is popped and it's deflated. And the animal says to the doctor, "I heard a pop, and this is like," I think we can make funny little things like that.
Yeah.
We have these characters read real Google reviews, or, something in that creative world. Now, I am not that creative, but if you go out and look, you saw the video of the meme of the woman carrying the barbell with heavy weights on it. And she was like, "What TheraBand do you recommend?"
Yep.
In 30 seconds, I was able to take that meme, turn it into a video, something like that. Like, it's humorous, but as I try these things out, I realize that most of them are only humorous to us. They're only humorous to physical therapists who have seen the memes, who understand the joke behind it. I tried it with some of my kids. I tried it with some of my patients, and they don't get it. They don't understand what's supposed to be funny about it. So we just need to work through this. But man, there's so much value. We just need to figure it out.
I do like the idea of like creating some digital mascot, and I didn't even think of reading the digital mascot or digital animal or whatever, reading out Google reviews. For me, I'm thinking like it could be reading out a Google review, like walking down some street in New York City at some corner that people might recognize, or some landmark, or Times Square, or Central Park, or whatever. Um, but there's a lot of benefits of having some type of a digital, like the way Gary Vee was talking about Mickey Mouse, and like with the Geico caveman. So the actor John Lear has moved on to other projects, right? Because he's a human, and something happened with contract negotiation, or he wants to do other acting elsewhere, and doesn't want to be known as the caveman or whatever. The Geico gecko is unbelievably way more beneficial to Geico,
Yeah.
because the digital gecko never dies, never gets hurt, never has a bad day, never, doesn't show up late for, casting or acting or shooting or whatever. And the same thing with Mickey Mouse and Disney and all that. Like, those characters were developed, and there's no PTO for those characters. Like, they're just always there. They don't go on vacation. Like, they're digital assets. You could use them anytime. You could create stories behind them. You could, different names, whatever. I think that might be the most beneficial, to have some, I don't know, cutesy kind of mascot, or something that gets, something that evokes, I don't know, emotion. Ideally, we wanted to evoke some action, whether they're reaching out to our practice, our business, or whatever. I'm not sure how that might be, and we're kind of spitballing this live, and we'll see how it kind of goes in the near future.
Scott says, "Dave, you're talking to an AI Tony right now." If
Oh
I
no,
was
I
AI
thought
right
I thought I was talking to the real Tony.
now, yeah, no, I love that. I think that's going to be a direction to explore, and just so people understand how the actual mechanics of this. I've got a Google Pro account, so I pay $20 a month for my Google account. It gives me expanded like storage and other stuff. With that, I have access to Gemini Pro. With that, I can do 3 video generations in Gemini every single day, every 24 hours. I can put a picture into it, or I could just use the words. Usually what I do, like yesterday, I did a picture of a patient. I had HIPAA compliant media release in place, took a picture of them, put it into my Gemini. I said, "I want this person to say," and then he read the joke that was on his shirt. Gemini and VO3 took that still photo, made it the first frame of the video, and then generated the video behind it. A fun thing we did in the clinic yesterday, which I didn't share publicly, but I showed Dave. I've got a patient. I snapped a picture. The patient's going to walk through the agility ladder. She has a cane. I was like, hey, check this out. We just have so much fun. And I'm like, I'm gonna prompt
I saw
this
that.
literally while the patient was there. So I put it on my phone, snapped the picture. The patient's doing the agility exercises. I put it into Gemini. I prompt it. I want this patient to start in this position. Then I want her to do I said somersault. I wasn't sure. It wasn't the right word to use. I should have said forward roll. But anyway, forward roll into the agility ladder, then run through the agility ladder and say, physical therapy can be fun when you do it this way. Within 30 seconds to a minute, the patient didn't even finish the exercises that she was doing.
Crazy.
The video was generated. And now this was a busy time in the clinic. We probably had 12 people in the clinic, some PT, some independent exercise. We had a blast. Like, I was showing everybody the video. I was like, check this out. This is so crazy. So even just from an engagement tool, you think about, like, how do we make therapy fun? How do we engage? How do we lift spirits in the clinic or in a home if you're doing mobile? Like, you could do this stuff on the fly once you get comfortable with it. And it just creates such a different experience. I could even see something like, we go to Kings Island here in Ohio. Every time you ride a roller coaster, you know where the cameras are. You make funny faces. You get off the roller coaster. You sprint to the display screens, and you see yourself. You're waiting for yourself to come through in the photos. Like, we could do some crazy stuff out there in the clinic. People would love it. If we get the media release, we share it on social media. To Dave's point, we're not making fake things, but we're having fun with the technology that's there. And I think that potentially gains views. That allows future patients, prospective patients, to be like, oh, I want to go to this place. This place looks cool. This place is having fun. Like, I think that's another practical use that literally today. Yeah.
I got an idea. This might be too complex with editing, but imagine you and that female patient where you recorded her doing like the ladder agility, right?
Yeah.
So it's split screen, right? So you and I right now are split screen. Let's say on one side of the screen, it's you and her, like talking, like you're watching the video, you're creating it, like, so it's you and the patient like real close, and then it's the AI video of her looking, 90% AI generated, doing the somersault, tumbling and doing the video. How about that? So it's like you and the patient
Yeah.
watching create her original audio or original video, but it's the AI generated. So now, like, you're in with the audience, you're in on the joke, like everyone's in on the joke. Like, we're not trying to fool you with this
Right.
AI generated video. This is you and your patient sitting here next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, laughing about the video you're creating. So it's like it's just you two, you and the patient watching this video. You share that I think will get other patients to say, like, wow, that guy, that's cool. Like, they're joking around, like, but it's actually Tony and the patient in real life
Yeah.
watching the AI generated video that's kind of silly or whatever. Now you're obviously not trying to fool anyone, because it's like you and
Right.
the real patient watching some AI generated video. The only thing I think with side by side is maybe a little bit extra editing, which I'm not sure how much that would take.
It would take a minute. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do. You could do it two ways. You could do the video, and it's a third person perspective is really what you're doing. So you do the initial video, then you get somebody else to record you showing the patient the video, and then you overlay the two. Where I would take it is, I don't know why we don't have big flat panels out in the gym, but I'd have a big flat panel out there that I could connect through, like, mirroring or whatever. And I would literally just record it, snap the picture, make it funny, put it up on the big, like, flat panel 60-inch TV in the gym. And then everybody is watching it, but we're recording from a third person perspective, watching us watch it and getting a good laugh. Another one, hilarious, I think. I've got a lot of geriatrics, they're grandparents. What if we recorded this turned it into AI, and sent it to their family members. You know, like, hey, grandson, like, look at what grandma's doing. Again, it's just making it fun, making it exciting, like something different that the busier corporate clinic down the road, they're not going to do it. The skilled
Right.
nursing the road, they're not going to do it. Somebody said to me yesterday, because we were just doing this all morning, they're like, Tony, do you consider yourself a physical therapist who does media, or are you a media company who does physical therapy? Now, this was a Procter and Gamble exec who had retired and now just comes for like independent exercise. I was like, oh, zero doubt in my brain. We're a media company who does physical therapy. There is not even a close comparison the other way. Scott said, Dave, sounds like you just talked yourself into an AI content idea for
Yeah.
concierge relief.
Yep. Yep.
Very nice. All right. Anything else on this topic? Because I do have another topic that I need your advice on.
Yeah. Just the final. I mean, I kind of mentioned it, but like, I'm saying this for myself. You could take, you're going to do what you want to do, but we're on the same page here, which is these AI generated videos, first of all, are not meant to look like your current patients and clients in your clinic or doing home visits. I wanted to make sure we're on the same page. We
Yeah.
are like smart people are all over this country. You're treating everyone that's watching or listening. You're evaluating. You're treating smart people. Don't try to fool them. Don't try to use this tool to have them say like the Google review testimonials or whatever and try to pass it off like it's a real human. People will sniff it out. That will actually result in negative word of mouth or poor goodwill, the opposite of goodwill. So we're on the same page there, and I do think you need to take it into the direction of like making it so like if it's a grandmother or grandfather, like where they're doing the split and they're doing a backflip or two, like something like we know, okay, haha, like we know we know they're not doing that in real life, like something like that they would share with their family to get a laugh. The grandchildren would laugh and look at this video, look at this video of grandma, whatever. And like even the kids, the grandchildren would laugh, but they would also know at a fifth grade reading level or whatever, even they would know that it was a fake video.
Yeah.
So that I think is like the best approach.
I could even, okay, what last one on that? Yeah, yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I wonder if you created a hilarious video of grandma, your patient, doing something outlandish, then put it with HIPAA compliant media release, put it on your social media, sent her the link so that she could then send it to her kids. Then her kids share it out on their social media. I could totally see that chain of events happening. You know,
There we go.
okay, food for thought. Plant that seed, let it grow. Let's see what happens. Uh, I was on the phone with Joseph Lowe, friend of the pod, and we were talking about products. We were talking about product sales again. I shared a post after I got off the phone with him because I still go back to, I think like Scott's here. Scott, if you're still with us, I'd love to hear just in the chat. I still think most therapists are thinking, I don't have enough volume in my clinic or in my mobile practice to really make product sales something worth doing. I just don't. I don't have 20 people that are coming twice a week, 3 times a week. I'm not going to make enough on a $10, $20, $50 product to even just bother with it. Every single therapist I talk to is like, I'll just send them an Amazon link. I don't even care. I don't need the $2 commission. I'll send them the Amazon link. I'll let them buy it. They already have their credit card in place. They already have everything ready. It's such a frictionless environment. When I'm talking to Joseph last night, we're talking about this idea. Now, something that he said for larger practices that I thought was very interesting. And I knew we experienced this when we had 5 locations, we had 20-ish staff. We were spending tons of money. And I say spending, what I really mean is losing tons of money because therapists would just give the stuff away. They were like, it's a $10 ice pack. I'm just going to give it to you. A $3 TheraBand. I'm just going to give it to you. Like, they didn't want to sell it. They felt guilty selling it. They would give the stuff away and we would be going through supplies for no benefit. the patient thought that we were getting reimbursed. So the patient had zero reciprocity in mind. They were like, oh, this is so nice. They're giving me this for free. No, patient thinks we're getting paid by insurance. We're not. The therapist gets no benefit from it. The business owner is losing the money. So we were trying to figure out, how do we build a workflow that makes it frictionless, makes it super simple for a practicing therapist to allow patients to either scan a QR code. We were thinking about this, like, what if the equipment had a QR code and they're like, man, I love this massage gun. Here, scan this QR code. The QR code is an affiliate link, takes them straight to Amazon where they can buy the product. That's one option we thought of. Or, it's so easy to buy through Amazon. EMRs are still not point of sale systems. Is there a way that we can incorporate just a super simple product sell in the clinic? They scan the code, they do whatever, they make the purchase, like we talked about Tuesday with the car. It's like, look, I just got a list of, 5 things they recommend for me to do my car. I hit the check mark for the ones I want, the X for the ones I don't want, gives me a bill of sale, and I pay for it. How do we bring that into the clinic? Because you guys don't sell product, really, right?
No.
And why don't you sell product?
One would be, I think, like, if you order from Joe Low, like, the cheaper it is, like, the more you order, the cheaper it is, right? So you got to order like multiple big boxes. I think you showed, or he showed pictures of like big boxes in some clinic or whatever at some point when we talked with him, or when I spoke with him. So if you have a brick and mortar office, it's a little bit easier. Outside of New York City, you got to have like the spacing, to hold the,
Yeah.
big box of the orange, loops, the elastic, or silicon, whatever they are, the loops for resistance bands. So you got to have a place to store the items. For me, it's like, then I would have to give a bunch at a time to each therapist. I'd have to meet up with them because we're mobile. We have the office, but we could find some space in the office, I guess. But it just, I don't know, it just seems like it's easier if you're like full time in an office, and you get a box or two, and you throw it in some spare room. And then I guess I think that's easier. I don't know, is there more like tracking or inventory type stuff you got to make sure you with tallying or keeping track of everything, or no?
So I think logistics of, okay, got to lay out the capital, tie up money to buy inventory. Nobody wants
And then
to do that.
it just sits there, yeah.
You got to have the physical space for the inventory. Nobody wants to deal with that. Then you got to figure out the sales tax. Now, I talked to a patient yesterday. She went to a local medical supply company. She wanted to get a walker. They said, if you come with a referral, there's no sales tax on it. But if you buy it just straight retail, you have to pay sales tax. Nobody wants to deal with sales tax for, a couple $1,000s in sales a year. I just think that there are all these obstacles that kind of get in our way. And so again, when I look at, all right, how do I eliminate the obstacles, maybe make less profit, finding a simple, quick, I do think the QR code is a great option for the person sitting in front of you. Emailing a link is a great option for the person that's not in front of you or remote. Tying it in, we've talked about, like, I don't have a home exercise platform. I record video clips. I text those video clips to the patient, but then just having a real quick, I used to have a Google Doc, but even that was too clunky. A real quick, streamlined way to say, here's the video, here's the link for the products we use today, and here are the instructions. Like, that's it. And just do it while the patient is in the clinic, while you're getting paid by insurance for the treatment session. But I do think there's a big gap in the market for in-house point of sale that's just all electronic, and it's just super simple. Even to the point where, okay, so if I have somebody come into my clinic 3 days a week, and on Monday we use a TENS unit, and they're like, oh man, I love this, I want to buy one. They get a link, it's $100. They click purchase, they pay on their phone. The next time they come in, the TENS unit has already been delivered to my clinic, and I can dispense the TENS unit to them the next time. Like it's just in time shipping, like Amazon can do it. And the whole idea is that I can get that here. And you and I have done this with clients in the past where the TENS unit might be $30. I charge them 100. It comes to my clinic and I dispense it to them. If they want to get it shipped to their house, that's fine. It's $30. I get an affiliate commission, but it has to be frictionless. It has to be so simple. You don't even think about it. You already have the link. You already have everything set up. Your credit card is already on file. You just hit buy or don't buy. That's where, and I don't know that there's an EMR on the market today that has that kind of functionality. I don't think you've heard of any.
No.
Okay. The other part of this convo is I'm never going to get enough people, even in my clinic, to make product sales really profitable for me. But even if I have one person that benefits from one physical product and I create content of that person using that product, the benefit of that product, I put that content on Amazon, I put that content on Google and Facebook and Instagram. Now I have access to millions of people who would potentially benefit from that. So the benefit of selling a product in my clinic is not the one-time retail sale. It's the 100-time affiliate commission that comes in at a much smaller percentage, but it's there. I know we've talked about this 100 times. Do you have any interest in doing something like that for any physical products, low cost or high ticket?
No, not right now. I mean, because I'm focused on the video stuff. I mean, you already have
But
the video stuff. You do video basically, like you could be half asleep in a coma. You could still do video stuff. Like you've
yeah,
done
but
it so much.
video
So
stuff.
I'm still focusing on like the physician nurturing, meeting up with physicians. I have one tomorrow. I'm meeting up with some in-home fitness company as well after that tomorrow. Last week, I met up with my buddy that's a podiatrist in the city. I'm doing more of the in-person stuff. I'm trying to do more of the video stuff. I can't add another thing to the bucket right now. I can't add, you know, a physical product channel with tens units and bands and all. Like it's just like I cup
So
runneth over.
so I am terrible at outsourcing. I'm terrible at hiring. I'm terrible at, letting assistants come in, like virtual assistants and stuff. This would be, I would even, rather than outsourcing editing, I would hire a VA. I would hire somebody to come through, look at my content, tag all the products that are in my content. I want to say that I just saw a video of one of your guys doing something with like range of motion on a lower extremity. I don't know if it was a knee or an ankle or something. I was trying to listen to it, but there was too much commotion. Um, but like this would be the kind of thing where maybe not today, but as you build that library of content, I am sure there are going to be products in the content. I would have somebody come in and just tag all of those products and all of the videos, put affiliate links in all of the video descriptions or in the comments, wherever it can go. And that is what I have one of my boys doing as a summer project, because a lot of my old, like 3-4 year old YouTube videos, those old affiliate links are broken. He's going through systematically and just updating and really anything you see. Oh, I see a dumbbell in the background. I'm going to throw in a affiliate link to the same dumbbell so that if somebody's watching that video, there's a chance they're going to click on that dumbbell link to buy that dumbbell.
Yeah, right on.
All right. Any other quick topics before we wrap up?
I think there's been so much done with video that you've already helped show and demonstrate what's possible, what works. If you get on some consistent schedule and you start getting benefits in the near future, whether it's prospective patients, local leads, local patients, you get folks that are regional but they're looking to drive in to visit you in your office. If they're further away, pay you money that's, pay you more for a consulting call than what Medicare pays you for your time, right? Like
Yeah.
approximately. So depending on how you price it on Clarity. So the big thing for me is I'm going to just continue to focus on the video. I've done a ton of video over the years, as you know, with like the therapist facing, practice owner and therapist facing type video. And for me, just my main focus is now continuing to focus on the physician marketing and mixing video in for the patients, like the golden ticket treatment ideas and the treatments and all that. Get that out there. I need to keep pushing that and integrate video with the physicians because they're busy as well, right?
Yeah.
So we're also, Jimmy and I were talking about like a provider dinner. We're looking to do that most likely next month in August, and then hit it again in the fall real hard. And we're going to be aggregating, out of network or concierge physicians and physical therapists for that. And we're going to video record at that event. So then the physicians will ask them like the simple, spotlight questions that you've done in the past, where you're asking them like, who's your ideal patient, who, or what type of conditions do you like to treat or evaluate or whatever. And then they will chop it up. They'll get digital assets from us, also Goodwill. They can post it. They can have someone in their office post it, whatever. And then have us at the top of mind for future referrals. And I think that's what it's all about. That's just my main focus for the next probably 6 to 12 months. Of course, utilizing video as well for my physical therapist. So I've even tried to record, and we had like a Wi-Fi issue. But the other day, I think last week, I was recording a training video with my physical therapist, Porus, that is about presenting the plan of care, getting buy-in, getting agreement. And then I'm going to post that. I'm going to share it to the Dave Kittle Show for other owners to see how we treat or how we train our therapists. Also, we'll post it on LinkedIn, and then other like potentially that type of stuff, that content might attract more prospective therapists to come work with us and apply or reach out to us so that we have a bench of resumes for more hiring opportunities, right? And it all comes back to video. It all comes back to video. And that is my main focus, is how can I use video for getting more physician referral partners, getting more new patients and clients that are the busy New Yorkers that we love to evaluate and treat, we love working with, that invest in their health and wellness. And the third prong of the stool, physical therapists, PTs, PTAs, OTs, whoever it might be, that want to work with us, that are licensed providers, licensed therapists, that want to come work with us in the next 6 to 12 months. And it all comes back to video, using video for all of that.
Awesome, man. I love it. Let's close the show. I'm going to say, guys, if anything we shared today or in previous episodes inspired you, made you take action, let us know. Like, tag us, share it with us. We'll share it on the podcast. We love to see when people hear something and they go out and take action on that thing. Dave takes action. I take action. That's what we do every single day. But absolutely go check out the Dave Kittle Show. Go check out Learn Medicare Billing, PT Pintcast. And we will see you guys Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right, Dave, have a good one.
Thanks.
The PT Breakfast Club, iMode, where morning coffee meets movement science.